Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural episode, I suppose you could call it, of Todd Graf's Watering Hole, where we talk about whatever comes to Todd's mind on this particular day and time.
I got a lot of things on my mind all the time.
Well, I want to know what's on Todd's mind as it pertains to bow hunting, deer, and other things in life, and then I will provide my insightful commentary to go along with yours.
It's always exciting.
Well, let's talk about what's happening. It's
is
opening day.
It is opening day.
It's October 1st.
Well, first question. Are you hunting this evening? Let's get this out of the way.
Me personally, no. I am going to film my child hunting this evening.
Whoa, with a bow?
With a compound bow, yes.
That's a big deal.
That is a big deal. Yeah, he doesn't need me, but I gave him, because he passed his hunter safety this summer, so he can go hunt on his own now. So I gave him the option. I said, dude, you can either go on your own, do your own thing, or I'll go with you, but I'm not hunting, and I will hang in the saddle and film.
That's
and he
cool.
said, why don't you come film? I said,
Wow.
okay.
That's exciting.
All right.
I don't know that I would have done that. I think I would have probably went by myself.
I'm going to cut him loose here when it gets a little bit better, and I want to actually
Is
go
that
hunt.
because Selby?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like this is the most liberating thing that's ever happened to me.
The most liberating?
Like I can go hunting and I don't have to bring you with me. Like I can just say, go to that stand and text me if you shoot one. But
Which is fun. This is huge, dude. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, this is exciting. I'm excited for you.
He's ready to go.
I'm not going to lie. I texted Craig, I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago, and I was just like, dude, I kind of miss these days. And I sent him a picture where he's climbing up the ladder. I'm like, I kind of miss it. So enjoy it,
He
man.
was like, sorry, Dad, I'm out with my girlfriend right now.
But I don't think he even responded to me. I think it was the next day. All right. Well, listen, that's cool. I'm going. I got a plan. It's awfully windy out there right now. But we looked at the weather.
It's gonna die down.
I looked at hunt stand. I can see which way things are going. I'm gonna pull this off.
Northwest.
I'm shooting a big one tonight. That's my goal.
Well, isn't that always the goal, kind of, when you go out hunting?
No, there are days when you just feel like, I just don't feel like this is gonna happen.
Well, there's days when you feel like it, but it's always the goal, right?
That's fine.
You
It's
may be
always
like,
an
the
underlying
chances
goal.
of me actually succeeding are slim.
Okay.
I think we have a 50-50 shot tonight, I would say, at,
Well, listen,
at shooting a deer.
something that people always love to talk about, or at least love to talk about. I love to talk. You made fun of my desktop because I have too much on it, but I'm organizing all my deer that I'm trying to kill.
Fair enough.
What do you got? Come on, man. Come on. Don't hold back.
Nothing exciting.
You don't have one buck that you'd be like, listen, I want to shoot this buck.
I have a lot of deer that, I don't want to say a lot, I have a handful of deer that I will shoot if and when they walk in front of me, but I don't have any deer that I'm like,
What is a
man,
Justin
I really wanna shoot
Zarr
that deer.
buck that I would shoot? What are these qualifications?
Usually just a 4-year-old or older.
Okay.
That's about it.
Are you going to share
about
any
all you
photos
can
in this
have.
episode at the watering hole, or are you going to not share any photos?
Yeah, I'll share. I mean, there's nothing amazing. I mean, I have, so I got 3 farms that I hunt. The one suburban one has got the 9-year-old deer that's probably, I'm hoping he's under 100 inches, but over 300 pounds now at 9 years old. So the ratio keeps going
9-year-old
like
deer.
this.
So this deer is basically just completely ran circles around you.
Yeah, my buddy Mike shot him last year and didn't kill him, backstrapped him. This is the deer that I had when I dropped my bow out of the tree. I also had him last year coming right in, and he just veered and got downwind of me. So yeah, he's run circles around us since he was 4, so
Okay.
I'd like to shoot him. But I mean, he's like 100 inches now, but he's legit probably 300 pounds.
Listen, when you see a big body, dude, I
Like
don't
there's
care
no
about
mistaking
that.
it when you see it
100%.
in the wild. You're like,
100%.
holy smokes, that's a big deer.
That's a shooter. I agree.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody about this the other day because
Who were you talking to?
I don't even
Oh,
remember.
come on, give his name up.
I don't know exactly who it was. You know what? It was either Mike Willen or Tom Alford, one of the two, the only 2 I talked to about deer hunting.
Okay.
So it was one of the 2 of them, and we were talking about. You always see every year.
Tom needs to get his head out of his butt and give me a call.
On social media.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
On social media, you see every year there's this like graphic that, I don't know, maybe QDMA made or something like that years ago, where it's like, let them go so they can grow. And it's like the progression of a deer from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And the problem with that graphic is it's that graphic is like the anomaly, right? That graphic shows the like basket rack year and a half old that goes to the 100-inch, 110-inch 2-year-old that goes to the 130, 135-inch 3-year-old, and then he's 150 or 160 at 4. And I think the reality is, at least where I hunt, the vast majority of deer do not go through that progression. They don't make those jumps. Some of them never get to be 150 inches, right? And the point being was like last year.
I think it's just a chart, though, dude.
It is a chart, but I think what it does is it gives people this like, that chart is not representative of the average whitetail deer, is what I'm saying. That chart is representative of like the freak deer, or maybe like somewhere in Iowa, that's the average deer, like on the Lakoski's farm, but it sure as hell isn't the average deer where any of the farms I've ever hunted.
Mine either.
So we had a deer last year that was a just absolute gorgeous 3-year-old, out past his ears, kind of spindly, but past his ears, tall, good brows, like 130 some inch 3-year-old. And that's the deer where you're like, he's gonna jump to 150 as a 4-year-old, right? Okay. And he shows up this year and he's probably still 130 some odd inches. He's now a 7-pointer instead of an 8.
Yeah, but
he was
Justin,
like, I'm just not growing.
How can that happen?
It happens all the time.
No, when we had the most rain ever. You know what everyone always says? When you get tons of rain in the spring, the antlers just
Well, I know what people say, but you know what they say, the masses are asses, Todd. Like, just because everybody says it doesn't make it true. I think anecdotally that's what people want to say. But
yeah,
I guess
I can't say that I witnessed it this year.
I was just whining because I see these deer and I follow them from year to year to year. And again, the vast majority of them, I would say 9 out of 10 that I am able to follow from year to year, don't go through that progression that I saw on that chart that everybody's
You've been lied to.
Let them go so they can grow. It's like, yeah, they're going to grow 5 inches. Great.
But there are going to be plenty of people who will comment on this video and would say like, oh, well, you know what, Justin, at least you have the ability to follow a deer from year to year. And listen, there's some truth to that, because when I owned my farm in Wisconsin and I was hunting that swamp as much as I hunted, it was like I was so jealous of people who was like, man, here he is this year, here he is this year, here he is in the third year, here he is fourth. Dude, Wisconsin with that rifle hunting and the pressure that was up there, dude, it was very few and far between where I ever followed the deer to year number 3.
Yeah,
so it's amazing that you've got a 9-year-old deer that you've been able to follow. That's super cool. So there you have it. That's Justin's hit list bucks. I do have some bucks that I'm after.
Are you going to share them?
Maybe not as much as you, but there are a couple that I have.
I'm always interested. What do you think is going to happen if you shared them?
Listen, you know what? People may hunt a little longer, may just, I don't know.
You think the neighbors don't know they're there?
I have no
There's
idea.
some sort of secret?
Nobody uses trail cameras
It's some
anymore.
sort of secret, like only you know about the deer. I always find it so interesting.
I'm just having fun with you. Listen, I've got 2 or 3 deer that are nice bucks, but listen, I truly don't have, I don't have a lot for this year. I mean, like one where like Justin.
Maybe not on your personal farms.
That's true. Yeah, like
I don't have places you have permission to hunt.
Well, just because you know information doesn't mean you're allowed to just bring it up.
I'm just saying.
Yes, there are places that I have access to where there are some monsters, but there's also just kind of a personal thing where, like, when you have your lease or you own your own farm, that you kind of like want to get one there too, just because I know of a bigger one. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I should go spend more time where more bigger deer. I've always said if you want to kill big deer, you got to go where the big deer are. But there is just something personal about getting to know your deer, like your 9-year-old buck that's run circles around you, and a couple that I've been chasing, or even not that necessarily I've been chasing, but farms that I've been hunting that I've been unsuccessful on, and I'm trying to change my strategies this year and trying to do different things, different entry points, how I'm hunting, why I'm hunting, and maybe throwing some of my old thoughts out the window and doing something just completely different. So that's what my kind of immediate personal strategy is. But one thing that I want to comment on now that we've kind of got the bucks out of the way and we're trying to keep at their watering hole short, because, as a business owner, whenever you see everyone standing around the water cooler, you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, we get back to work. So you kind of feel
If we stay around the water hole too long, we're going to get shot.
Or EHD, so that's at least what people say. So, Justin, we got to talk about this drought. I mean, to not talk about this drought and bring it up, and obviously, depending on where you're watching this, it may be different for everybody. I mean, obviously, if you're somewhere down south right now, you're not thinking about droughts. But here, wow. How many weeks? And I'm talking our farm more out west. Like, dude, we have not had rain. I'm going to say almost for 6 weeks, maybe longer. I mean, it is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, and I have never seen. I'm thinking of yesterday being, yesterday's date. But, dude, I can't believe how much corn and how much beans are already gone and already pulled out. Like, it's amazing. Like, this year, by the time we get to...
Well, I think everything got planted early this year because we had kind of a dry spring.
I just think we got so much rain, dude. The stuff just grew amazing.
Well, and it was an early spring, right? So I think they got crops in early, so they're getting them out early.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been so dry. I mean, Tyler Rector sent a message this morning, right? There is no rain, I think, in the forecast for like 2 weeks. He's like, I will not leave a combine for the next 2 weeks. He will be picking corn for 2 weeks straight.
Wow.
Because there's no rain in the forecast and they want to get it all out. So,
is that going to change any of your hunting strategy? I mean, let's just talk about this. Will you do anything different?
No.
No? Okay.
No. I mean, only one of the 3 farms that I hunt has like legitimate agriculture on it. Like that's farm. Like one of my farms is because it's a dairy farm, they cut all the corn for silage. Okay, so that corn's gone in August. And those fields are just barren nothingness. My other farm doesn't have any ag on it at all. It's just brush and timber. And then the other one has got standing corn, which for all I know could be picked by now. I'll find out maybe next weekend when I go out there. But I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, whether it's standing or not standing, maybe it dictates like what stand I'm going to hunt or how I'm going to get to a stand based on like, the corn's nice when it's up because I can sneak around a little bit more.
That's what I was alluding to. Because for me, I have a few spots where I really leverage that corn for access.
Yes, and when it's down, it sucks.
There's no doubt. Like there's a couple spots for me that's I've been able to leverage that corn well into even sometimes the beginning of October to be able to just get in, not be seen. Yeah, and that's not going to be the case this year. So that's going to change some access points for me. In terms of that, I also just think with that less amount of cover, it's also going to kind of reposition where some of these deer might be hanging out a little bit.
You know what I saw the other day that I thought was interesting was there was somebody posted a chart about, and this doesn't have anything to do with corn, but we know acorns. They posted a chart on years with bumper acorn crops, hunter success rates were lower, and on years with low acorn crops, hunter success rates were higher.
Well, it's because I think they spend more time in the woods, man, deeper in the timber.
Well, but think about that. When there's a lot of acorns, hunter success went down.
Right. I think they're harder to kill.
Okay.
I think there's more acorns. I think they go in the deep timber. It's harder to get in that timber without spooking deer out.
And on years with fewer acorns,
now they're out.
Maybe they're having to travel more.
Traveling more.
I don't know if this year's a good year or bad year for acorns. I mean, I saw a lot of them.
I don't think it's a bumper crop though. Like I don't really. Usually I'm like so excited about finding.
How do you dictate that? I mean, I don't know.
Usually the amount that I see on the ground. There's probably so many acorns per foot per acre, some bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw a lot of acorns on the ground, but that was a month and a half ago.
I don't have a lot of acorns on the ground.
Well, maybe that means we'll kill deer this year. There's fewer acorns.
Listen, that's not even an option. After the last 2 weeks and out west.
All right, are you okay?
I am shooting a deer.
So next question, doe shooting in early October. What's your plans, if any?
Listen, dude, don't get me started. We don't have enough time in this first episode.
Well, that's an easy question. Are you shooting a doe or you're not shooting a doe?
No, I am not happy with the quantity of deer that I'm seeing. No freaking way. No, don't shoot them. I'm not shooting a doe. There's not enough. On the properties that I'm hunting, I have countable number of does. Now, listen, that changes obviously later in the season.
Todd, we saw the aerial drone surveys. We know how many deer are there, and there's plenty of them.
No, I'm not shooting a doe. I'm not until I see things get a little bit further. Why, are you shooting a doe?
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's go. Whack and stack, Todd. Just kill them all. What I've decided is it doesn't matter if I shoot one doe. It doesn't matter. There's always the same. I've gone years and years of not shooting does off of properties, and there's no more deer there than there have ever been.
I think there's lesser deer in our areas, period, end of story. And we can save that for another conversation for another day. But I personally feel like the number of deer that I am seeing at my 4 or 5 different spots that I have are the lowest they've ever been, for sure. That's my opinion. It's an opinion. Comment below. If you hunt around us.
I think hunters always feel that way. Whether it's accurate or not, I think we always feel like there used to be more deer.
Dude, I got trail camera history data. Like, I mean, like,
It
I
doesn't
know.
tell you how many deer were on your property.
Dude,
like, unless you had surveys, like aerial
I
surveys
didn't have
again.
aerial surveys, but the
So it's all
quantity
just
of photos-
anecdotal. It's just like what we felt. Like you always look
I'm
back
not
on
going to
things
win this,
and be
guys,
like,
if you
it
can
was
tell.
better.
I'm not winning this, so I'm just going to move on. So,
Just saying. Just like
how
it's
do we
like
want to end?
It's a thing that we do.
We were supposed to finish this water all the way before
I
the
will
end of
finish this water. This is Ice Mountain, by the way. The best bottled water
Okay.
there is. Can you taste the microplastics? Somebody left that comment on our YouTube video the other day.
That's not good. Plastic is not good for you. You should try not to. See, we shouldn't even be drinking this. We should get a filter here at the... Okay, well, guys, listen. This is the first episode of
I hope they're forever plastics, Todd. I want to get my money's worth. I don't want to just pee them out.
All right, the watering hole.
Give you
So,
the
Justin,
PFAS.
any final tips for people that are new, just getting into bow hunting, what your recommendations would be?
Don't shoot them in the shoulder.
We covered that if
one.
you haven't watched.
Yep, yeah, that's a big one.
Fair enough.
Use sharp broadheads.
These are some very riveting. I think you can do better than this.
These are very important things. I think that people overlook. What would you say to somebody?
Right now,
Yeah.
early season,
Oh, I don't care about that. But go ahead. What would you say?
well, in terms of success,
Go find some acorns and hunt on them in an evening. Oh, okay.
listen, the trail cameras I have on Acorns are showing to be very positive results
There
right
you
now.
go,
So if you
guys.
can get in and the wind's right, yeah, I'm saying go for Acorns all day long.
How is that tip any more riveting than mine? of
I mean,
making sure
sharp
you shoot
broadheads is a given. Like, who's
Is it?
buying dull broadheads?
Is it, Todd?
Who's doing that?
We had some people that worked here that used to film for our show, and I found out they were shooting their broadheads into targets and then going hunting with them. Because they were like, well, I have to shoot the broadhead that I'm going to hunt with to make sure I know it's
I'm
going to
not even going to
impact.
comment on this.
You don't think
We
there's
may
people out there that are doing that? I promise you there are.
Okay, so the important, okay, so the real tip that we're trying to share today is if you're breaking out your broadheads, you're putting them on, and you're making sure that your broadheads are tuned, guys, make sure you screw on a new broadhead
Or better yet,
sharpen it.
Sharpen them. Because most broadheads out of the package nowadays suck. They're not sharp at all. Junk. Sharpen them yourself. Make sure. I would go that far.
Okay,
I would absolutely
sharpen your
go
blades.
that far.
My blades
Sharpen
feel
your
pretty sharp.
broadhead. Oh yeah? We'll go get them. Let's see. We're going to check.
After the show, I will go get my broadheads for you, and I will show you.
Fair enough. You wanted to do this show, Todd. You know what you were in for. You were
I
like, oh, let's get Justin sat down in front of a camera and talk for a while. Only good things could happen.
I'm not sweating yet, but luckily we're nearing the end of our first watering hole. Hopefully these midges that are on Justin's neck are going to get to him. It's going to slow him down for the next episode of the watering hole. In the meantime, guys, listen, it's October. It's the favorite time of the year. Get out there, hunt. If you got some cool stuff to share, actually, I'm going to throw that out there. If you got some pretty cool stuff to share, before you go share it to the world, we pay a handsome finder's fee for good, cool, original content. So keep that in mind. You find something cool on your trail camera, you got a killer story, you got something that could be worthy for us to talk about or use on our website, reach out to us, and we may just pay you for that content.
Just make sure it's good. None of this fake stuff. There's too much fake. People like setting things up like nowadays
No
to try to
fake
like
news.
create viral videos, but it is clearly fake. None of that stuff. We only want the good stuff.
This is clearly the
Top
old
shelf.
Justin Zarr back. With that being said, guys, I didn't finish my water, but I am ending this first episode of the watering hole. Justin won. He finished his first. Those plastics are going to get to him quicker than me. So, guys, get out there and hunt. We want to see your stuff. Send in your stuff. That's it. We're ending it.